This is going to be about street communism in America. Now, you're well aware of left-wing riots, left-wing protests, because no matter how old you are, if you're 8 or 98, you've watched them. They've been all over your television set, all over your social media. There's always a new outrage about something. It's an LGBTQ rage or a George Floyd rage. For some reason, people are always in the streets with signs and throwing things and vandalizing things. And so it can be understandable, I'll put it that way, if you think that that's just kind of how it goes. Well, let me explain something. It's not normal. It's not acceptable. We've always had this never-ending string of left-wing violence in our streets because that's what American communists, American Democrats want. They have created a vast network of organizations, then sub-organizations, then subs to the sub-organizations, specifically so they can find ways to funnel money and resources to violent, often mentally ill street animals who do their bidding. And let's understand what the game is here, why the game is this way. And to do so, you're going to have to attempt to think like a communist for a brief moment. So I need you to set aside your morality, just for a brief moment. Set aside this right and wrong, and you don't want to hurt innocent people and things. You have to set that aside when you think about this, because the communist doesn't think about those things at all. Set aside all that stuff. Now think about this. Think about this. Think about, I'll make it about me in the media world. Let's say I don't care about right and wrong. I don't care about hurting people. I don't care about anything. And so wherever I go, maybe I'm going into business negotiations. Maybe I'm going to a big event to give a speech. Maybe I'm just going down to McDonald's up the road. But wherever I go, I have 10 very violent people around me with weapons, sticks, knives, Molotov cocktails, and I can deploy them after anybody I want for any reason I want. Morality aside, isn't that power? It's not good power, right? You don't want to do it. I'm certainly not encouraging you to, but it's power, isn't it? Hey, give me what I want, or these freaks behind me will hurt you. That's exactly how America's Democrat Party, that's how they've organized a street revolution. Remember that they're fighting a revolution. The street animals are trying to burn down everything. That's why the exact same people will show up at an LGBTQ rally in Orlando, and the next week they're at an ICE protest in Los Angeles. What do they want? To destroy everything. And Democrats in this country understand you can deploy them at a moment's notice. The greatest recent example we saw of this was George Floyd. We all woke up, saw some horrible video online. Gosh, it looks bad. He's sweaty, he's crying, the cop's on his back. It was time to wait for the facts, right? Okay, let's figure out what's going on. But no. If you're a Democrat and you've had goals like destroying America's police force, turning criminals loose from jail to help your revolution, if your goals are things like that, you woke up and you realized you have an opportunity. So what did they do? Did they try to calm things down? Let's wait and analyze the facts? No, they deployed the troops.
This man's life matters. He matters. Being black in America should not be a death sentence. For 5 minutes, we watched as a white officer pressed his knee into the neck of a black man. To the black community, to the family, I'm so sorry.
Black lives that are under threat every single day, and I'm glad the mayor of Minneapolis stepped up right away in the police department and took swift action to fire the officers involved. But I don't think that's enough. And I don't think we can move forward unless we take aggressive action to rip out the insidious race-based inequalities that corrupt every part of our society.
Deploying the troops. And remember, that's how they look at it. They look at it as they have a standing army they have created, they have organized it, they have paid it, and they can deploy them wherever they want them. You're seeing it right now in Los Angeles, Seattle, other places with the ICE protests. This is an army that has been deployed. Back to the St. George Floyd stuff. In fact, back to the analogy I use with me and my 10 bodyguards at McDonald's in a business meeting. Maybe you're saying to yourself, that's kind of ridiculous. Surely there would be reporting on it, law enforcement. No, that's where America's media comes in. Because when America's elite communists call up their street communists and deploy them to do combat at an ICE facility in Los Angeles, Democrats are aware it may not look that great on the evening news. How do you handle that? Well, you simply take over the news and they'll cover your violence like this.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not, generally speaking, unruly.
What you're seeing behind me is one of multiple locations that have been burning in Kenosha, Wisconsin over the course of the night. A second night since Jacob Blake was seen shot in the back 7 times by a police officer. And what you are seeing now, these images came and come in stark contrast to what we saw over the course of the daytime hours in Kenosha and into the early evening, which were largely peaceful demonstrations in the face of law enforcement.
You're seeing the same thing now. You've seen it over and over and over again. America's media knows it has to cover for the street animals while the troops are in the streets fighting their revolution. And keep in mind, the Democrat Party and the street animals, the elite communists and the street communists, they are glued together. And as I mentioned in the very beginning, it is power. It is powerful to have a bunch of freaks who will commit acts of violence on your behalf. That's why Democrats call for it all the time. That's why they tell their troops to stand by all the time. How many times, let me ask you something, how many times have you heard a Democrat, be it Hakeem Jeffries or Jayapal or any one of them, talk about being street ready? They always talk about being street ready this and street ready that. Here it is.
We are going to fight it legislatively. We are going to fight it in the courts. And we're going to fight it in the streets.
Never before in my life have I called for mass protests, for mobilization, for disruption, but I am now.
We might call this getting strike ready. I think of it as getting us strike ready or street ready.
I am so thankful. I'm going to keep screaming in the halls of Congress. I just need y'all to make sure that y'all keep screaming in the streets.
Mobilized. It's their army. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.